Hello and welcome everyone. I am your host, Ali, CEO and co-founder of Knowde, the leading digital customer experience platform for chemicals, ingredients, and polymers. So it's no secret that our industry is starting to transform right before our eyes, emerging market trends and software innovations changing the game. In this series, we're going to unpack these topics through conversation with some of our industry's leaders. Our goal is to share perspectives to help you navigate the changing landscape. Thanks everyone for joining today. We've got an exciting show ahead, so let's get started. I'm so thrilled to welcome today's guest, Lori Ryerkerk. Most people I'm sure already know her, so she doesn't require much of an introduction. So I'll keep this part short. Lori is the CEO of Celanese Corporation, a Fortune 500 company and a global chemical and specialty materials company based in Dallas, Texas. Celanese is a leader in developing and producing materials in many major industrial and consumer applications. Lori is an amazing human being that I've got to know pretty well recently, and I'm so glad that she's joining us today. Lori, any sort of background and context that you want to share on Celanese or yourself before we jump into our standard questions?
Look, I'd just say, so I've been with Celanese 3.5 years. We've been really focusing on growth. In that 3.5 years, we've done several smaller acquisitions, and then most recently just acquired an $11 billion asset from the DuPont portfolio, their specialty engineered materials. So I think, we're going through a period of high growth and using it as an opportunity to really enhance our digital footprint and really get into things like digital manufacturing, more digital commercial processes. So, not just an opportunity to get bigger, but an opportunity to really remake Celanese into what we just simply call the new Celanese, because we're not too creative, but into a new Celanese that is prepared for the future and prepared to operate at an even better level.
Love that. Okay, so you already caught on to the key word. It's all things digital here. We're certainly seeing suppliers ratchet up investments in digital customer experiences. Generally, suppliers are investing in a few key areas. Either they're trying to digitize the product catalog, increase customer reach, engage more customers, or lower their customer acquisition costs. Is there a certain area when it comes to digital and customer-facing tech that you see as the biggest opportunity within Celanese?
Yeah, I actually think, especially now with the acquisition of DuPont, we are the largest, most complex engineered materials producer in the world, and we're already one of the larger, more complex acetyl producers in the world. And so what we're finding is, we offer more than 26 polymers. We have tens of thousands of SKUs, and it's hard for our own sales force to keep up. And like we brought all these new salespeople in from DuPont, it's hard for them to really understand the scope of what we have to offer our customers. So digital has a place internally in terms of we've developed a great selection tool, really now being used by our own employees, so they really understand the full capabilities that we have to offer customers. And it helps train faster, it helps people get up to speed. But eventually we want to offer that to our customers as well, so that they can also say, this is what I need. What are all the possible solutions? And that way we're kind of different than some of the other providers. I mean, if you only make nylon, you're only trying to sell nylon. We're trying to sell any one of 26 polymers. We don't care. We'll sell any one of them as long as, we think it's best for that application. So I'd say, really understanding our own portfolio and getting information in the hands of our sales force and eventually in the hands of our customers is the first. And I'd say the second one for me is really getting that customer reach. We have so much we can offer now. I mean, quite frankly, we'd have to have a huge sales force to get out to everybody around the world we think could be a customer. And we think digital is a much more efficient way to do that, to make those initial customer contacts.
Can't agree more. I mean, these are some general themes that we're hearing across the industry. It's all about how do we help customers self-select. So, let them sort of be able to browse the catalog, find what they're looking for, let them, experience your entire catalog really easily. And then when your sales team is in front of them, make sure that they've got all the knowledge and the tools they need to be able to recommend the right solutions, cross-sell, all of those sort of things. All of that obviously goes hand in hand with customer reach. So you actually hit on another major theme. We've noticed a trend where the larger the supplier's catalog, the more emphasis that they're putting on digital. You already had a very large catalog. Now with the DuPont Polymers acquisition, you now have an even larger catalog.
Yeah.
I assume that, given what you just said, you're already starting to invest in tools for the sales team and probably for customers as well. Is this a major emphasis for you right now? How do you, what types of digital tools do you think you're gonna create?
Yeah, so I'd say like in the last 3 years, we focused on internal digital. So we were focused on getting our digital manufacturing going. We were focused on, getting a better supply chain, tracking, forecasting system in place. Because I really want to be able to provide customers with a whole end-to-end, from the moment they are thinking about needing some kind of polymer to, when I want them to have kind of that Amazon experience, for lack of a better word, where they can really look, see what they need, talk to a sales rep, place an order, track their order. We can't do all that today digitally. It requires a lot of human interaction. So we've been working on how do we start to make that happen. And now this, digital grade selection tool, and which will eventually get to the customers here, will help be the upfront part of that. But it's also going to help our forecasting. It's going to help our supply chain management, all of that is going to come together. And so, we are spending money on digital, but quite frankly, we see the payback very quickly. I mean, when we put the new supply chain system in, which was a much more, digital based, we had that in the early days of COVID. We wouldn't have survived COVID without it. And so I don't even think, I know some companies still think it's a choice. I think given the size and complexity of our company, it's not even a choice anymore. We need to invest in this, just like we have computers to run our operating plans. We need to invest in this, or we can't keep up with the pace of change that's going on in our industry.
Yeah, no, I again can't agree with you enough, and why we wanted to have you on this podcast, because you think differently than a lot of folks in your type of role, where you are willing to look at a much longer horizon and sort of walk back from there and say, okay, what are the types of things that we need to be able to build to enable the future customer experience 3 to 4 years from now? And you hit on, again, a lot of the major themes. Speaking of thinking of a longer horizon, there's some market headwinds right now. Any advice that you'd give industry leaders as they're attempting to balance short-term challenges with long-term investments?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, the macro conditions are difficult right now. For us, it's difficult because we just took out a big loan. And so we have a lot of cash flow needs to meet. But I think, we need to realize our investors invest in this. I mean, our investors aren't hedge funds. That's not who we're going after. We have long-term investors. They're investing in the value we create in the 5-year plus horizon, most of them. And the macro is a short-term problem. I mean, so what I would say is we may make short-term choices, like we're going to defer this 6 months, but it's about how you message to your organization. Like we message our organization, like, look, we may defer this 6 months, but that's what it is. It's just a deferment until we get out of this short-term problem. And I think a lot of companies think when times are good, they think that's going to last forever. When times are bad, they think that's going to last forever. I mean, I've been in this industry for, an embarrassing kind of 38 years now, and I can tell you nothing lasts forever. And so you just need, we try to make all our decisions. Yeah, we worry about the quarter, but we're really making our big decisions with 3 to 5 years in mind. And, that's my advice to people is nothing lasts forever. Think about where you want to be in 3 to 5 years and try to make sure you maintain the pace to really be able to provide customers what they need in 3 to 5 years, because that's how, good companies get better.
Yep. Again, can't agree with you more. I mean, something like digital that we think about all the time does have sometimes a longer payback period, and you've got to invest a lot short term in order to reap those benefits long term. And for some, that can be a difficult exercise because they're looking for, short term quarterly gains, and that's not the game that we're playing. And so, I love hearing those sort of comments from someone in your role. Any additional thoughts or comments that you want to provide as we wrap up here?
No, I mean, Ali, to your last point, though, I would just say, there is a leap of faith that's involved. I hear the same thing. I'll just refer to something I'm more familiar with, which is digital manufacturing. we've really invested in our computer systems. We've really invested in digital manufacturing in the last few years, and people, well, really just the last year, and people were like, wow, that's a lot of money. And I said, look, it's going to pay off. And I can tell you, we've probably spent not that much money, maybe less than 5 million. We had one win because of digital manufacturing last year that was worth 10 million by itself. And that doesn't include all the small ones. So there is a leap of faith element, but for myself, maybe it's unique, but even in my 37 years, I've never seen an investment in computational power, computer upgrades, and now digital, that didn't pay out more quickly than we thought. It's hard to see it when you're making the investment, but when you look back, you're always glad you've done it.
Amazing. Lori, thank you for joining us today. I'm sure the audience is taking away some amazing tidbits that hopefully they can apply. Thanks again for joining us. Take care.
Absolutely. Great seeing you. Thank you.